What the business, YouTube, episode 26. My name's Jay Florida, and today's career of discussion is a governor. So, what is a governor? A governor is an official elected or appointed to act as the chief executive or head of a political unit, such as a state, province, or colony. Now, to give you a piece of history, governors have existed in the United States for over 350 years, dating back to the early American colonial period in the 17th century. While modern state governors were established around 1776, with William Livingston of New Jersey being a prominent early figure, the role originated with colonial leaders appointed by monarchs or elected via corporate charters. A few basic requirements to becoming a governor include meeting a minimum age requirement, which is usually 30 across all 50 states, a residency of up to 7 years in your campaigning state, filing qualifications and oaths, serving as a state legislator, local official, or in some other high-profile, preferably political role before running, and a strong campaign, preferably with a large fundraising network. Now, elections take place every 2 years. You can knock it out of the park and become governor your first go-around campaigning, or you can spend the next 10 elections pouring money down the drain and becoming a glorified citizen. Campaigning can cost you anywhere from $10,000 to $500,000 and upwards. As far as your range as the entry-level governor, you can expect to make $70,000 to $100,000, with a few things affecting how much you take home being location, qualifications, and fundraising. A day in life as a governor can be described as constant meetings with political and business leaders, fundraising, crisis response and management, media and public scrutiny, and overall stressful. As far as opportunity, I don't want to say that just anybody can become governor. It is highly emphasized and highly preferred that you are already running in some sort of political role. For that reason, the governor does score yellow. A few examples to take note of in this field include Ron DeSantis, the current governor of Florida, Wes Moore, the current governor of Maryland, and Abigail Spanberger, the current governor of Virginia. Moving on to our fact moment segment of this episode, starting off with fact number 1. Former Iowa Governor Terry Branstad is the longest serving governor in U.S. history, serving for 22 years, 4 months, and 13 days across 2 separate stints, with his first being from 1983 to 1999 and the second being from 2011 to 2017. Fact number 2. Hiram Bingham III holds the record for shortest governorship in U.S. history, serving as governor of Connecticut for only 1 day on January 7th, 1925. He was inaugurated, attended inaugural events, and resigned the next day to take a seat in the U.S. Senate. In fact, number 3, the largest share of vote for a governor in a contested election was Hoke Smith's 99.8% in Georgia's 1906 gubernatorial election. And for our last segment, before we move on to the circle of influence, we have health risks and mitigation, starting off with anxiety, depression, and burnout due to constant stress, which also increases the risk of drug abuse. Exacerbating existing conditions as a result of a sedentary lifestyle, and physical threats from the public. Now, as far as mitigation, you can take part in medical health screenings and medication as needed to deal with long-term mental health issues. Have security in crowded events or spaces, and practicing a physically active and healthy lifestyle. Now that does it for our primary segment. I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to my co-host for the Circle of Influence. Yeah! Let's see how many of y'all boys know ball with 74% accuracy. As far as the Circle of Influence, if you don't know, it's a small compilation of statistics and ideas that may influence a person into or away from pursuing a certain career or position. Now, kicking things off, we have respect. Is this a career or position that brings me respect and dignity? For this segment, the governor does score yellow. It's a career where you're making decisions for the people based off of their very real life needs. Now, due to the fact that everyone has different needs, you will rarely, if ever, be able to fulfill every single one of these needs, meaning that you will not make everyone happy, and that just comes with the job. And even though there may be a large group of people who are indifferent, the people who are tied in closely with these spaces either really love you or really hate you. Moving on, we have growth. Is this a career or position that presents me with the opportunity to grow from $100,000 earning threshold? For this segment, the governor does score green, with sources online citing that the governor has the potential to make anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 and upwards, though this is rarely achieved through their official state salaries alone. Next, we have gore. Is this a career or position that will have me dealing with an abundance of blood, violent action, grotesque imagery, or scenery? For this segment, the governor does score green, as in no, you will not be dealing with any of the mentioned before. And for our last ideological standpoint, we have moral conflict. Is this a career or position that will have me compromise any of my foreseeable morals? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't kill. The basic set of guidelines. And for this segment, the governor does score yellow. Now, I wish there were a better way for me to explain this, and feel free to do so in the comments, but I will just leave it as politics as usual. Moving on to the statistical side of things, we have gender demographics, where 37% of our 50 elected governor officials are men and 13 are women. Moving on, we have ethnic demographics, where 47 of our 50 elected governors are Caucasians, one is African American, one is Hispanic, and one is Native American. And for our last point, we have location demographics. Top paying states, no particular order, kicking things off with Pennsylvania, followed by California and New York, then Massachusetts, closing out with Tennessee. Now that does it for the Circle of Influence. I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor back to Florida. I'm back. Just to put the governor into summary. As far as I could see, and as described, it's a 24/7 non-stop career that could bring you fulfillment, but it perpetually brings stress. And for that reason, I think it's a career that you should only take up if you have your state's genuine best interests at heart, versus exploiting this position to make, however much X amount of dollars, though you still could. With that being said, it does look like we have a full episode today. The word of the day is lactate. Self-help resources on the board. As always, I'll leave it down in the description, and to show your support, if you want to see this kind of content more often, make sure to comment, like, or subscribe. And I'll see you guys on episode 27.